Hi everyone, I'm Stan Mallow. Welcome to Paranormal Yakker. My guest in today's show, who I'll be yakking with, is Dr. Q, founder and president of the Indian Palm Leaf Reading Institute. He'll be speaking with me from Vienna, Austria. Dr. Q, willkommen to Paranormal Yakker.
Hello, and most lovely good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I feel honored to be back. It's been quite a few years.
Always a pleasure. Now, could you tell me, please, what is the history, the origin of the Indian palm leaf reading?
Well, saga has it that about 2,500 years ago, Indian sages called Maharishis, Maharishi means great sage, meditated to Lord Shiva, and by doing so, they were given the power of foresight to be able to see into the future and into the lives of millions of people. And then they dictated it to their disciples simultaneously, and they wrote them down on dried palm leaf. They use dried palm leaves, and what they do is they cut them into 10 and 15 inches long palm leaves, and then they etched into the fresh leaf messages, and when it dried up, you could then see the message. And these palm leaves are stored in small archives all over the place. And it's up to the reader. The reader is the educated person who knows how to find your palm leaf and then read it to you.
Thank you for that. Now, what information can someone expect to receive when they have an Indian palm leaf reading?
The reading covers your entire life. A palm leaf consists of 12 chapters, one chapter being family, kids, education, spiritual growth, health, and one chapter is about your own healing process. It's called poojas. It covers basically your entire life from the moment you get the reading done until you die, and it comes in a trajectory based on your energies at the time of the reading. It covers the good, the bad, and the ugly. So not only good things are being shared with you, but also challenges. And that's actually a good thing, because if indeed there is a challenge in your life, health challenge, relationship issue, money issue, really makes a difference. At the very end of the reading, the reader then gives you a so-called puja reading. That puja literally translated means prayer, but in modern terminology, you could say homework, something you need to do to get things fixed. And there are two types of pujas. One is called the temple puja, that will be your individual doing, and the reader tells you exactly what you need to do. And the other one is a so-called mantra puja, and that has to be performed by a priest in India. And there are two types of mantra pujas. One of them is that the priest would go into the temple and pray for you twice a day, either for 108 or 144 days, a specific puja that's prescribed for you in your palm leaf. And the other one will be a fire ceremony. And the fire ceremony is a one-off where the priest gathers all the ingredients that he needs: coconut, ghee, flowers, bananas, and so forth. And then he will perform a cleansing ceremony in a temple. So these are the two types of pujas done in India, and it can only be done by a priest. And there is one that you have to do at the end of the reading. The reader will tell you. It's called a temple puja.
What motivated you to found the Indian Palm Leaf Reading Institute?
Well, obviously, in case you haven't noticed yet, I'm not an Indian. Believe it or not, I am just an average white guy who had an incredible reading myself 7 years ago. As 7 or 8 years ago, I again got very sick. My biggest challenge in life is health. Otherwise, I've been a lucky person. Health meaning I've been sickly from childhood onwards, and I had cancer when I was a teenager from 16 to 19, and 7-8 years ago I was impacted by a virus again, which almost killed me. So I ended up in the ICU. And so in the ICU, I thought to myself, man, this lifetime, I think I'm a pretty nice guy. I don't do crazy things. I'm a helper. I got the helper's gene in me, and I do a lot of volunteer work and this and that, the other. So I connected somehow the dots that it must have to do with karma. Ever since I was a teenager, I've been very open to spirituality. When I got sick, I said, God, why me? Why am I'm just a kid? What would I have to suffer from cancer? But when I then finally was released at the age of 19, I said, God, why me? Because I realized that I could have died as well, as many others have died that I shared a room with. And I spent months and months and months in the hospital. So that opened up the gates for me to spirituality. And I realized there's a lot more than meets the eye. So I've done many things over the past. Palm leaf reading was just another step towards my own self-realization or going deeper into what cannot be seen with the naked eye. So I was introduced to it by my girlfriend then, who said, maybe you want to do a palm leaf reading, because she had read about it. And I also had read about it in a book written by Deepak Chopra called The Book of Secrets. So your audience might know of Deepak Chopra, who I presume is the most famous physician in North America, an Indian guy, obviously, and has written over 80 books. And in one of his books, called The Book of Secrets, one chapter is dedicated to his own palm leaf reading. Of course, at the time, it was just another story, because you got to be open to not only read it, but also for the information to sink in and then do something about it. And when my girlfriend told me about that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's an awesome thing. And I had totally forgotten about it. So I had a reading done. And my primary motivation was just to clean my karma, because I thought it must have to do with karma. But the reading was so overwhelming, not in a negative sense. It was just, wow, I didn't expect any of that. And in the reading itself, and I'm more than happy to share my experience, because I've done so ever since we started the Institute. In the reading itself, the reader said, oh, and you will bring this to the West. And I thought he's kidding with me, because I'm a white guy. I have nothing to do with India, really. I don't speak Indian. Don't get me wrong, I love India. But I love food, the spiciness of it. I meditate every day. I love yoga. I've been doing it for 20 years. So all that is good and fine, but I'm not an Indian. So I thought he's crazy, and I just dismissed it. But then over time, the universe aligned, and here I am talking to you about it. When I went home and I shared my experience with people, and so many people wanted to do it. So many. I was like, oh my, wow, that's incredible. Can I do it too? Well, obviously you can only do it in India, because everything happens in India. The libraries are in India, archives in India, readers are in India, palm leaves, and so forth. Everything is in India. And then I realized that for most Western people, India is a no-go. And that's when I then got into, can it maybe be done online? Live, yet online, so it would save people having to go to India. And that is how we started the Institute, because that was a solution to it. And I had no idea that people would really respond to that, but they did, overwhelmingly, I should say, because no one has ever done it. So we're the very first ones introducing it to the English-speaking world outside of India. You don't have to be Indian at all to also have a palm leaf written for you, because they were written for souls. And it doesn't matter who you are today, a white person, or you live in South America, being a male or female or transgender, it makes no difference. It was written for soul. And whenever you decide in here somehow, the big universe, however it works, that you need some guidance, boom, then palm leaf, your wish, is somehow created for you, and you can go on a search and see if there is one written for you. Palm leaf reading consists of 3 steps, distinct steps. Search for your palm leaf or bundle, then comes the matching, and then comes the reading itself. So allow me to explain each one of them, as it's not that easy, not that simple, because we're many times mistaken for being palm readers, which we're not at all. We are reading palm leaves, messages that were written on palm leaves. First and foremost, and I brought this with me for the audience to have a look at, this is a bundle. In this bundle are individual dried palm leaves. This is a mock-up, by the way. So when I go to expos and talk to people like yourself, I can explain what it actually is. A bundle, the covers are made out of wood, and in this bundle are palm leaves written in ancient Tamil language. And all the palm leaves in one bundle carry the same thumbprint name. Now I need to explain that too. The only way to find your individual palm leaf, or rather bundle, because that's the first step, these bundles are tied up and they're in pigeonholes all over, for the most part, southern India, in small little holes in the wall called archives or libraries. There are bigger libraries too, but for the most part, they are these palm leaves bundles are owned by private individuals, and they safeguard them. And then a reader will go and see if there is one that matches your thumbprint. Now, the whole thing starts with your thumbprint. The magic, if you wish, lies in your thumbprint. What would you need to do if you were in India? You would go to the reader's office and you would submit your thumb impression. Male, right, female, left. You would submit it, then your gender, and that's all the reader knows. He has no clue who you are. He has your name, the thumb impression, and your gender. Then he would look literally through a magnifying glass at your thumbprint, and then he would find certain characteristics in your thumb impression. And there are a total of 108 distinct characteristics to a thumbprint. But not all 108 are developed in a person on a thumbprint. Only a few, 4, 5, 6. And those 4, 5, 6 characteristics give your thumbprint a specific name. And that name already describes you, your soul, very well. And all the palm leaves in one bundle carry the same thumbprint name. There are many of these bundles with the same thumbprint name, and they're, as I said, all over the place. The reader would look at it, identify your name, and then he would go on a physical search. Now, coming from the West, and I presume most of the audience here is from the West, they would think, oh, he just, would Google or go into an archive and type things, and then he would find my thumbprint, my bundle. Far from it. It's a physical search. He would hop on his bicycle or moped or use public bus, whatever, and we'll go from one archive to the next, to the next, to the next, in order to find a bundle that matches your thumbprint name, because each bundle has either a number written on it or the actual symbol that characterizes your thumbprint name. So we'd go into archive, look at it and say, there is a matching one. And then he would pull it out of the archive, and that is the search part. The search part comes to an end because he just found a bundle that hopefully contains your individual palm leaf in it. Pull it out, and then if you were in India, he would call and say, we found a bundle or two bundles with the thumbprint name on it, so come to the office. And then he will go to the office, and then so first step, search, has come to an end, and then the second step starts. The second step is called matching. Matching means he then, the reader, and they're only male readers, by the way, hence I can only say he, the reader, who knows ancient Tamil. Is very important because it's a language not used anymore. These palm leaves were written in ancient Tamil, which means a modern Tamil person wouldn't even be able to read these. Plus, these palm leaves were written in a poetic form, not in simple sentences. So it's the skill set of the reader to read a poet in an ancient language and then make sense to it when he, or through a translator, translates it to you. Also, Tamil, modern or ancient, is a sound-based language, kind of like Chinese Mandarin. Unlike any Western language, because they're all letter-based, A, B, C, D, and so forth. So it's a multitude of skills that the reader needs to have to convert a sound into a meaningful letter, and then a poet into a meaningful sentence to find your individual palm leaf. And this process is called matching. So how the matching works is, obviously in the mornings, the reader will do some meditation, he will come to the office, he would then open up the bundle in front of you, and then he would go through each one of these palm leaves step by step, trying to identify your individual palm leaf. Again, one more time, he knows nothing about you. He just knows your thumbprint, the name of it, and your gender. So he would open up the bundle and then read out to you the first thing that jumps into his eye. That will be, for example, you're married, correct or incorrect, because this first palm leaf belongs to a person who's married. If you say, no, I'm not married, he then, well, obviously that's not your palm leaf. He will then move on to the next palm leaf. And then the whole thing starts again. It will then say, oh, your first name has an A, O, or an I in it, correct or incorrect. You only answer yes or no, correct or incorrect. No further information needed. For example, you're married, correct or incorrect. Yes, I'm married, but I'm in the process of getting divorced. No, he doesn't need to know that at all. Are you married? Still legally, yes, yeah, or no. That's it. At the end, so as long as you say yes to one of his statements, he stays on the same palm leaf and goes deeper and deeper and deeper. If you say no, then obviously there's not your palm leaf, it will go to the next one. At the end of a successful matching process, where the reader, again, has no clue who you are, he will tell you to make sure that this is your palm leaf, your first name, your mother's first name, father's first name, your date of birth, time of birth, if you have a spouse, spouse's name, how many kids you have, siblings that you have, things that you know it's you. In short, it blows your mind. I'm telling you, it blows your mind. How on earth can this guy know all these things? And I can assure you, no Googling or no hacking behind the scenes goes on. So once you know it's you, you just say, wow, yeah, that's me. That's matching. Magic has happened. He found your individual palm leaf. Done. So that's step 2. And then once you acknowledge that's you, he then would start with the reading. And the reading, one more time, is based on your energies at the time of the reading. So it's a spiritual reading / in part also astrological reading. And it starts with the moment you get the reading done. That's important. And it comes in a likely trajectory based on your energies until you die. Likely trajectory, because that's a concern that I'd like to address right away. Some people say, oh, my life is already set in stone and I have no say in it. No, incorrect. You have all the say in it because nobody takes away your free will and choice. You have it. It's up to you to make the decisions. All the reading does is it gives you an option. It tells you in the future, however far in the future it might be, there is sunshine coming up. These are, that's a good period for you to, I don't know, start a relationship, have children, I don't know, whatever it might be, start a new business. And because you know it, that's how I explain that usually is, oh, I know great times are coming up. So buy yourself sunglasses so you can enjoy enjoy the sunshine. At the same time, he might say, oh, a few years from now, challenges are coming up, whatever challenges might be, health issues, money issues, relationship issues, and so forth. So you know a storm is coming up, get yourself an umbrella so you won't get that wet. It's that simple. So that's how I explain it in simple terms, what a reading is. Gives you guidelines, and it's up to you in the end to take it on board and turn left as suggested or still turn right. It's your choice. It's called the whole life reading. And it takes a while. The matching part takes about, 30, 60 minutes, give or take. The search part, the first step, could take a couple months, several months, because there is no computer system at all. That means the reader has to go physically from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And if it's outside his reach, there are brokers even. He will call brokers and say, can you please look in your area for bundles that have this specific thumbprint name? And if they cannot find it in their area, they will go even further away and further away and further away until eventually they find a bundle too that matches your thumbprint. So the search part can be, in theory, just one day if it's the very first archive that he walks in, but most likely the average wait time is about a month, give or take. It takes a while. We look for 6 months, the search part. We look for 6 months, or rather our readers look for 6 months. And if after 6 months they cannot identify a bundle for you, that just means you don't have a palm leaf written for you now. Does not mean that you do not have a palm leaf at all, just not now. Because according to the system, you change your energies every year. So if you don't have one now, you can start a new search 6 months after you were told no bundles. That means a year after, you can start a new search, and voila, there is a bundle for you, because your energies have changed, and now the message is here for you to receive and then do whatever you need to do with it. So that's the search, the matching, and now comes the reading part. The reading takes about an hour and a half. It's very intricate. It goes deep into your life. And if there is a challenge in your life, whatever the challenge might be, don't get desperate or upset. At the end of the reading, it will cover the puja chapter, your healing chapter, what you can do now to fix it, either to completely heal from that issue or at least reduce the impact. Speaking of pujas, that's also an important aspect to talk about. A puja is either a mantra or a chant, meditation, or a physical act for a person to do. And if it's a mantra or a chant, then it's prescribed to you exactly what you need to say in Tamil, and it doesn't matter that you don't understand the text, because what we do is we obviously write it in Western letters, and all you need to do is just do your best at home when it comes to reading out the chant or the mantra. And the chant or mantra is dedicated to a certain god or goddess in Hinduism. For example, Ganesha in my back, that's Ganesha, and that god stands for overcoming hurdles, opening gates. Many times a person would have a Ganesha mantra to do, and it's prescribed to you very specifically. For example, 17 times this mantra, 5 times this mantra, very specifically. It's either one sentence or one paragraph, and you got to follow it verbatim. And what you need to do at home is you need to do it when you get up in the morning or before you go to bed, because those 2 times your mind is the most relaxed and you're most open to healing. The reader would say on 9 Sundays, for example, do this mantra, repeat it 17 times, dedicated to Ganesha, the guy behind me. That's the god with the trunk. 9 Sundays means 9 Sundays, not a Monday, not a Saturday. And you better make sure that you're done before midnight hits, because if you go into Monday 5 minutes after midnight, then it's not a Sunday puja anymore, which means you have to start all over again with the very first Sunday dedicated to Ganesha. People say, why should I do that? Very simple. Do you want healing? Then you better do as you were told. That means you are putting energy into your own healing. That means you do take your own healing seriously. If not, well, you got free choice. You got free will and choice. Do whatever you want, but then don't come back and say it didn't work, because you yourself did not put the energy into it as prescribed to you by your palm leaf. Then, so there are usually several mantras. Each one of them is dedicated to fixing one issue identified in your reading. One of them is for your relationship issues that comes up. One of them for your health, whatever. One of them maybe for karma, if you carry karma, because there is also karmic reading in your reading. And it could be a physical act. So in my case, in my first reading, the reader said several things that I had to do physically. One of them was on 2 consecutive Wednesdays. So I had mantras to do. And then on 2 consecutive Wednesdays, I remember, I had to feed the needy, he told me. And I said, what do you mean by feed the needy? I don't quite understand. And then his laconic answer was, you will figure it out. Now I knew I cannot break up the sequence, because because if you do, you again start from scratch. And I really wanted to show the universe that I'm into healing myself. And at the time, in my reading, by the way, you need to know that's by now 7 years ago, I think, the reader told me, you will live in Budapest, which is the capital city of Hungary in Central Europe. And I now do live in Budapest, by the way. So that's it's not because he told me, but I already had that in my mind to come to Budapest and live here because of the girlfriend that I had met who told me about or who pushed me towards getting a palm leaf reading. So I now live in Budapest and the interview is conducted in Budapest, but I'm half Austrian, half Viennese. So when we talked before, I was in Vienna due to the coronavirus. I couldn't move at all. All of Europe was shut down, and I was basically in Vienna and couldn't go anywhere. So I had just moved to Hungary, so I did not know anyone, and I was sweating. How on earth can I feed the needy? What should I do? And then on that day, I remember very well, I was in a cafe and I saw an elderly lady I thought was needed some money, the way she was dressed and the way she behaved, but she ordered a soup and something. And this is when it hit me. Up until that moment, I had no idea what to do. And it was that Wednesday already. I was very nervous. And so I just told the waiter, you know what? I paid for her. How cool is that? You know, at the right time, I knew what to do. And by the way, I've been doing so ever since. So I do pay people's coffee or sandwich when I see them somewhere in a cafe. I did that, by the way, when I was visiting you in Toronto 4 years ago. Another physical act for me was I should bring sweets and fruits. Again, you need to look at it from the context of India, obviously. So I need to give fruits and sweets to children on 5 consecutive Fridays. Now, I am a middle-aged white guy giving fruits and sweets to kids. Was a little challenging, I should say, and I had no idea how to do it. But again, the universe guided me, and so I donated sweets and fruits to an orphanage. On 5 Fridays, I brought it over and I gave it to them, and so it can be done. If you're open to it, somehow the universe will tell you what to do. And you can figure it out. So that's the puja part. The reading, the very beginning of the reading, the reader would explain to you your thumbprint name, which in the beginning of this interview, I told you it tells you a lot about you already as a soul. It makes a big difference if in your name you have the word lotus or the word rose. Obviously, rose is a different type of flower to a lotus. And it tells you already who you are with your life. A rose is a beautifully scenting flower, but it has thorns in it. A water lily floats on water. So very different type of energy and karma, I guess, that you carry with you. So the very first part is that the reader explains to you your thumbprint name. And if indeed you're in tune with the universe, you realize, oh my gosh, that's me actually. In very generic terms, but that's me. And then once he explained to you your thumbprint name, he would also explain to you your birth star, things that are important when you were born, because he identifies your birth date and time. And once that's done, he will compare it with Western astrology, obviously, so you have a better understanding, because Indian astrology is different to Western astrology. And then he would only go into your reading, what he reads. And at the very end, you would also be given your lucky numbers, your lucky gems, which days of the week are good for you in general, which direction is good for you. Should you always look into the north or south or west? Your elements, which is your element, what's better for you? All those generic things come with the reading as well. And then you have an unlimited time of ask questions, and sometimes they're answers and sometimes they're not. And if indeed you carry karma like I did, then the reader will give you a whole karmic reading as well. He will go back in time and tell you who you were, when you lived, where you lived, your gender, your social status, and what you did to now be stuck in the vicious cycle that you're stuck in. In my case, health issues. I've been back to the hospital since, so hopefully it continues to be like that. And then at the end, he would also give you a puja to fix your karma. Usually karmic cleaning is a bit more intricate, so that's usually a fire ceremony in India performed by priests, but it's also your own homework that you need to do to overcome that karma. We have an office in India with readers and with interpreters, because most readers don't speak English, so they need to have somebody who interprets. And basically, just like you and I talk here, Stan, is that and we do it online, live but online, so people would submit their thumb impressions to us, and then it goes to our office in India, the reader would look at it, and then the search starts, and it takes a while, and if indeed they find a bundle, then we'll contact the seeker and say, congratulations, bundles have been found, and then you can set up a time for the matching and the reading. But you need to set aside 3 hours so that you are not rushed. Actually, we always say set aside 5 hours just to be on the safe side. As you know, we're still talking India. Sometimes electricity fails, and sometimes internet fails, and sometimes there's monsoon soon, and I don't know, God knows what can happen. We would have a Zoom call, just like we will have a call here, where there is the reader and interpreter in my office in India, plus a Western person, just like myself. We'll call him a moderator. So the seeker would first connect with the moderator, a Western person. We make sure that you're ready for it and you know what to expect. And then we will bring into the call the Indian office. We'll record it all, by the way. And then the matching and the reading start. Now, the moderator is here in case the seeker has a hard time understanding the Indian English. 3 people supporting you during the matching and the reading process. We record it all. And about a week or 2 after the reading is over, because it takes time for us to edit it all and then put it all together in a beautiful file for you, we send every seeker the recording of the reading, as well as pictures of their palm leaf, because the original remains in the bundle and it's being recycled, literally recycled, because at some point in the future, another person can have the exact same palm leaf as their palm leaf. So we send pictures of that, and we type up your poojas into readable English in a PDF format, step by step. That's what you need to do. And also send along all the pictures of the gods and goddesses. So all you need to do at home is just print them out, put them on a wall. Don't use a computer screen as your, for Ganesha, for example. You physically print it out, color or black and white makes a difference. Put them on a wall, create a little altar for yourself, candles if you wish, or incense or fruits, or just the picture itself is also fine. And then you dedicate your mantra and your chant to that God. One last thing when it comes to using gods and the term religion, it's not a religious act. Very important for me to tell you, because some people say, oh, I'm a Catholic or I'm whatever, and I cannot do that. It's not a religious act. It's an act of focusing your energies on something, and in this particular case, on gods and goddesses within Hinduism. The reason being, 2,000-3,000 years ago, Maharishis, those sages that had the power of foresight, they did not know anything else. They only knew about Hinduism. So to them, obviously, when they meditated to these gods and goddesses in Hinduism. Hence, the tradition continues now too, but really it's not a religious act. So your religion should not stop you from doing it. And if indeed you're a super religious person and you're stuck within your community, then I was raised as a Catholic, so then print out the picture of Jesus or Virgin Mary or something and dedicate your energies towards that. So do not allow this to stop you from your healing process. In the end, it's just a meditation to overcome whatever issue that was identified in your reading. So that's about the mantras and the pujas. And I guess I covered it all in as short a time as possible to explain to you what it is that we do.
You did a very complete job. Of course, you answered a good deal of the questions I had for you.
Okay.
Let me get a few that I don't think you went through. Maybe elaborate on it. Okay. Does everyone have a palm leaf, or do some people not have one? And if so, why is that?
Whether everyone has a palm leaf or not is actually a very good question. And in the meantime, over the past 5 years, and we started this institute almost 5 years ago, I've naturally spoken to many readers. Not everyone has a palm leaf. It has, according to their experience, if you are European, North American, Anglo-Saxon, Russian, that area has a higher likelihood of having a palm. If you're born in Arabia or Africa, then the chances are lower. If indeed you, whoever's out there, thinks of palm leaf readings and says, oh, let me submit my thumbprint and see if there is one for me or not. That moment when you manifest the thought in your mind, in your brain, that you need guidance by submitting your thumbprint or sending in the email to us or going to India on a search, it's all the same really. You then create a new reality for yourself. So that moment when you decide to go on a search 3,000 years ago, at the same time, the Maharishi starts dictating your palm leaf. So that 3,000, 2,000 years later, it can be found by the reader to then be given to you in a reading.
Can someone have a palm leaf reading for another person, or is it only for themselves that they can request?
For themselves, only for yourself. Yes, it's written for you specifically with your name on it, Stan.
Now, if someone's palm leaf reading contains something bad, can that person change it and turn a negative situation into a positive one, or is it what it is and you can't change it?
The whole reason, really. So if you want me to explain it, why should you get a palm leaf reading done in one sentence? You want to lead a better life after the reading, period. That's what it means. Whatever better means to you. Better to me meant not going back to hospital, because I've had it being in the hospital. I spent a lot of time in the hospital as an inpatient and as an outpatient ever since I was 16 years old. And so if something is not good, if it's challenge, whatever the challenge might be, the reader at the end of your reading, in the puja reading, will tell you what you can do to fix it. As explained to you before, you can either completely heal it now, so it will not happen, or at least reduce the impact of it so it won't be so bad. The reader will tell you that it can be fixed, or it can only be reduced so it won't be so bad. For whatever reason, he might be able to tell you too that regrettably you got to go through this, but it won't be so bad. Let's say if you're under the impact of Saturn for 9 years, there is no escaping it. So for 9 years you will have rough patches, but you can do some work on it so it won't be so bad. He will tell you, and if I may interject here and or just continue, you can see the difference of your own work and how you as a human evolve and change.
Now, what happens, what are the consequences if someone chooses not to follow the advice given in their palm leaf reading?
That is your doing. You have free will, you have choice, do whatever you want. I keep telling everyone, we can only show you the water, you gotta drink it yourself. It's your responsibility. It's just like, any other type of advice you get. You go to a physician and the physician says, you're gonna take this medication for, against high blood pressure. And then it's up to you to do it or not. Nobody's forcing you. Nobody's holding a gun against you for it, saying you must. You do it or you don't do it. Period. And you live with the consequence. No one is forcing you.
Dr. Q, should any of my viewers want to have an Indian palm leaf reading from your institute, how do they go about doing it? What is your contact information?
I'd be honored, of course, if they did. And if they indeed did, and when they sign up, then I'd be happy to extend a $100 discount. All they have to mention is the show or your name Stan, or something that refers to this particular interview that we have. How we do it is it's a calling for me. You need to know that it's a calling for me to help the seeker not having to go to India, to make it as simple and as safe as possible. We're registered in the United States because most of my life I lived in the US, and we're guided by California laws, which are the toughest in the world when it comes to consumer protection. So we pay our taxes in the US, we're governed by California laws, and so it's for your safety security, and you always have 100% money back guarantee. In case you're not happy, not an issue, understand, you get your money back. What you need to do is, our website is pretty simple. It's indianpalmleafreading.com, indianpalmleafreading.com, and right there you can click on the button that says start to search, and when you click on it, or give me more information, and that's when you put down your name and your email address, and then you'll receive information from us. You will get a video which we put together for you. It takes about 10 minutes, really. It's not a very long video that explains the whole process, the whole thing, soup to nuts, from the beginning to the very, very end. And then you know how to capture impressions and what the whole process is about and how long it takes and this and that, the other. And if you want to go ahead, beautiful, then you pay $100 for the search. So it's all based in US dollars, by the way, because we're based in the US. So $100 for the search. We look for 6 months for your bundles, as explained to you before. And if after 6 months we cannot find a bundle for you, you get your $100 back. If we indeed do find bundles for you, then that money becomes non-refundable, because we are paying our readers. It's a physical act. It's a work. It's not just somebody sitting at a computer for 5 minutes Googling or something. No, it's quite some work behind it. And then once a bundle has been found, usually they find 2 or 3 bundles, then we send you an email saying, congratulations, bundles have been found. And now usually the price for the matching and the reading is $400. $400. But if somebody mentions you, the show, the yacker, or anything that so we know that it listened to your show, to our show, this interview, it's only $300. So $100 plus usually $400, so total $500 US. In your case, the reader's case, if they mention somehow this interview, it's $100 plus $300. So you pay the $300, and then you can choose any day you want, 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. We offer readings, and we're extremely busy, as a lot of people want to get a reading done. And if you don't trust me, my beautiful face, and just go online, Google us, and you will see highest rating. We have many super happy seekers with us, as they trust what we do. We do it with the highest possible integrity and all the love that we put into there. As I said, it's a calling for us, not only making it easy for people from across the globe, but people from Japan, Australia, all over South America, America, Brazil, of course, many Canadians and of course, USA, Russia, you name it, from all over the place. But also it's important for me to give back to India. So we literally overpay quite a fair bit our readers so that they make more money and they stay where they are, because it's a dying service. The next generation says, why should I live here and not go up north and have an IT job or whatever other job they want to get? So we really want to make sure that they pass on the information to the next generation and it continues to be with us so we can help as many people as possible. And it's not an easy thing. You cannot just go to school and learn about it, because there is no school that teaches palm leaf readings. There isn't. You have to find yourself a master, a senior reader. It is known as a swami, swamiji, and it takes 10 years as a fully fledged reader to then be acknowledged by your peers that you are an advanced reader, so they would start calling you swami, swamiji. And if you are an awesome swami for many years, then your peers will start calling you guru, guruji, which means you are the most advanced reader there is, and people trust you even more, and so forth. So we are proud to say that we have one guruji in our office, and all the other readers are swamis, all of them. So we do not have junior readers at all, only swami and gurus that work with us. And we overpay them, want to make sure that they stay where they are and they pass on their knowledge to the next generation, because it takes years for a kid, usually they are teenagers that join a swami or a guru, to then be taught the knowledge literally for a year or two, until eventually the swami or guru starts parting his knowledge, and then the kid eventually learns how to read palm leaves and then become a reader himself. So we overpay them, want to make sure that they stay where they are. We do our best to give back to them. And even during these rather challenging times of COVID, where no travel was possible at all, they had barriers everywhere and they couldn't cross the barriers, we continued with the job, and so they could have a job and make money and do their calling. So if indeed there is no matching, then you would get your $300 back as well. So you have 100% money back guarantee. And if after the reading you say, oh, that was terrible, I didn't like it at all, for whatever reason, you get your money back too. Because I really only want satisfied seekers, satisfied. Either I can help you, and if I cannot help you, even though I tried very hard, then I'm sorry that I couldn't. Here's your money back. Hopefully you find another vehicle, another means to find a solution to whatever issues that you might have. That's where we come from.
Dr. Q, I thank you for being my guest on Paranormal Yacker. It's always a pleasure being in your company, even when it's at a distance. Namaste.
Namaste, and thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
I thank you.
Love and light to everyone. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the interview you just watched. So you don't miss any upcoming shows, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would love for you to join me and my guests as I yak with them on Paranormal Yacker.